Where will your club be in 5 years' time? That is right. I'm going to be estimating every single AFL club's trajectory and trying to put them in a relative speaking position on the ladder in 5 years' time. It's 2024, 2025, 26, 27, 28. Around 2029, will your team be good or will they be shit? For Adelaide, I have put they'll be around top 4 to 8 in 2029. Now, for this trajectory, there's a couple things we have to note before I'm going to get into all the teams. First of all, prediction is based upon what coach you have, your history. For example, Collingwood, Carlton, Essendon, and Richmond. Those bigger clubs are less likely to be at the bottom of the ladder for a long period of time. The players you have and your youth, more importantly. So what players you have under the age of 23, 24. The history of your club. Do players tend to leave? Do you have a lot of older players on your list? And most importantly, I'm just giving a vibe check. I'm estimating. And for Adelaide, they have Matty Nix, who's a decent coach. They might have a different coach in 5 years' time. Let's be really honest. Some good stars they do have that are relatively young. Isaac Rankin is 23 years of age. They've got Lockie Scholl, who's 23, is also really impressive. Sam Berry at 21. Riley Thilthorpe as their key forward. He looks exciting at 21. Just needs to get his body right. Jake Saligo in 2024 has exploded onto the scene. Josh Rochelle, we all know how good of a draft pick he looks. Luke Nankervis is turning into a brilliant player. He's 20 years of age as well, and they have lots of early draft picks because they did struggle for a while in the 2020, 2021 years. So they've accumulated some high draft picks. They're an exciting team, and I think top 4 to 8 with that talent is expected. They're exciting, and there's okay signs of progress, although this season they've struggled. For Brisbane, I put bottom 4. Unfortunately, this is sort of on a mix of the history and the age of their recruits. The history of Brisbane, before they did the three-peat in the early 2000s, they were bottom of the ladder, finishing dead last. Then they win the three-peat, and then before 2019, they were shit for decades. A couple years where they just made finals, but for most of the time, pretty much bottom of the ladder every year. They're in their premiership window right now. I don't think that's going to be the premiership window for much longer, and that's why I think in 5 years, they're going to stoop right back down into the old Brisbane, to the bottom of the ladder. They do have exciting talent. Will Ashcroft, #1 draft pick, looks exciting. Keaton Coleman looks exciting. Jasper Fletcher, Darcy Wilmot, Devon Robertson as well. And they have quite a few earlier draft picks who do look good, but their young talent, and Kai Lohman as well, who looks good, their young talent just isn't there. And although I cannot predict who the draft picks will be for these teams, for example, if Brisbane picks up a Harley Reid regen in the draft next year, they could still be a top 4 team. So I can't predict what's going to happen in the draft, but purely based off the lack of talent, is Chris Fagan still going to be wanting to coach that team? I just think the premiership window is going to be closed really soon. Will Ashcroft does have injury concerns as well. I think it's not looking good, Brev. For the Carlton Football Club, I put mid-table to bottom 4. I'm more sort of leaning towards mid-table for Carlton. Look, Carlton, they have a lot of talent right now, but that's right now. They are in their primes right now. Cripps, Wiedering, Mackay, those players right now are looking primed, and I'm not predicting they're going to do much better in 5 years. Some young talent they do have. Obviously, Kerno will still be in his prime. If he does anything like Hawkins and Camerons does, he's going to stay an amazing player in 5 years' time. But the likes, like I said, the Cripps, the big ones, the Dohertys, the captains, the Spine's not going to be there. Young talent includes Sam Walsh, who's 23 years of age. Elijah Hollins looks an exciting talent at 21 years old. Jesse Motlop's just 20. Ollie Hollins is 19. So they do have quite a few exciting draft picks, but overall, it's less exciting than a lot of the teams. So I'm feeling sort of a 13th place if I had to predict an exact position, maybe even a 14th. I'm less inclined to put them lower down just because of the history of Carlton. They do have a phenomenal coach in Michael Voss, who you would assume will stay there for many, many years to come. So that is a good reason why they might not finish bottom 4. For Collingwood, conversely to Carlton, their rivalry, I put Collingwood as a top 4 team still in 5 years' time. This is based off the CEOs, the higher-ups. They have got everything in place, everything sorted. They have the coach, they have the higher-ups, everyone's aligned. The trajectory looks amazing as well. Yes, they're in their premiership window now, but look at the young talent. Dacos, let alone, is enough to be amazing. They do need a key forward and a key defender, but I'm sure they can trade for that or get some players in the draft. If we look at players sort of under the age of 24, 23, they have Isaac Quaynor, Bobby Hill, Bo McCreary, Finn McRae, but we're not sure if he's going to stay or if he's going to leave. 24, 25-year-olds, They've got Josh Dacos. Even though Pendles and Sidebottom will have retired, I still think with some of that core in there and just the history of Collingwood with the coach they have, I think they're still going to be in the top 4 in 5 years. For Essendon, I put top 8 to mid-table. So what's that? 8, 9, 10, 11, around those positions. They have a lot of good young talent, but a lot of the best players will be old by the time 2029 comes. For example, Zach Merritt, Darcy Parish, Peter Wright, Ben Mackay. Some of the spine's not going to be there. Like I said, they do have some young talent, but that talent hasn't really transpired to be who we thought it would be. Like Xavier Dersman's 23. Is he going to be good? I don't know. But with Jai Caldwell, Harry Jones, Nick Martin, obviously Sam Durham, Nick Cox, Archie Perkins, Jai Menzies, Ben Hobbs as well, Tex Wanganeen, the Davey brothers, even the likes of Nate Caddy, who's marched on this season. I think top 8's more likely than mid-table, maybe a 7 or 8. But I just think there's not many key position players there. There's a lot of mids, a lot of wingers. They're traditionally known for drafting those key position players, but I'm not as confident. It's a good young talent, and they've got an amazing coach in Brad Scott, one of the best coaches in the comp, but I don't think they have the list there to be top 4. For Fremantle, I put top 8 to mid-table. The reason is you could put them higher. Sarong, Brayshaw, Luke Jackson, even Sean Darcy is still going to be a good player by the time 2029 comes. They've got Josh Treacy, they've got decent young talent. But Fremantle Football Club, the history doesn't bode well with them. Will players leave? Sarong's from Victoria. Are the players going to stay? Who's going to be their coach? I know Justin Longmuir's done great this season, but Longmuir in previous seasons been questioned. Will he be there if he has a bad year in 2025? Will he stay or will he go? It's a lot of question marks with Fremantle. Let's talk about some of the impressive players that they do have on their list. And it is quite impressive, which is why I put top 8, maybe mid-table depending on who leaves. They've got Michael Fredericks, exciting player, Jordan Clark, 23 years of age, Sarong's 22, obviously the likes of Hayden Young's impressive, Brayshaw, Luke Jackson's really impressive, Heath Chapman's coming along pretty well, Josh Treacy, like I said, he's 21 years of age, which is phenomenal. Jai Amiss is 20 years of age as well, and a lot of those players are from Western Australia, so you'd look like they would stay, including Jai Amiss. So there's some good talent there. There's some really, really good talent. And in fact, I could even say top 4 to top 8. The only reason I'm more inclined to say more broadly top 8, maybe mid-table, is are the players going to stay? Is the history there of the club? I'm not so sure. For Geelong, I've put bottom 4. Now, I was hesitant when I first made this prediction, but in 5 years' time, surely they cannot keep going like they have been since 2007. Won the Flags 3 in 5 years, and they make prelims, maybe 1 or 2 seasons off, but they're always in finals, they're always looking good, they seem to do well, but the young talent's not there. Cameron would have retired, Dangerfield, Hawkins, the spine, the talent, obviously Selva's already gone. Who do they have to replace these core players? Is Chris Scott going to be there in 5 years? I feel like he won't be. Surely he's going to need a rest. Damien Hardwick needed a rest. Alistair Clarkson's going to need a rest. Surely Chris Scott, after he's been coaching for, at this rate, a decade and a half, surely he will want just a break, a couple of weeks in Ibiza, in Zante. Let him be. Some of the young talent, obviously Sam De Koning, 22 years of age, is a phenomenal ruckman. Tanner Brunt at 21 years of age, Ollie Henry, Max Homer, all 21. They do have talent there, but a lot of their lesser likes, I mean, Ollie Dempsey is 20, Toby Conway is 20, exciting talents. But if you looked further down the list, there's not many players there. Jai Clark's another one. I don't rate their talent. I don't think they're that great. And with the coach questions, I think they're going to be in the bottom 4. For Gold Coast, I put top 8. Quite simply, this is based off Dimmer. If Dimmer's still there in 5 years, the attraction's going to be there. You assume Dimmer's going to stay. Now, for whatever reason, if Dimmer might go, I think they could easily stoop right down to the bottom 4. And that's on the basis that the history of the Gold Coast Football Club is that players will leave. That's just what happens with Gold Coast, but their young talent is insane. Tom Berry, Ben King's 23, Jack Lukosius is 23, Caleb Graham's 23, Noah Anderson, Matt Rowell, both 22 years of age, as is Sam Flanders, who's having an amazing season, 20 years of age as well. Ned Moyle in the ruck is 21. They've got the likes of Alex Davies, who's exciting. Mac Andrew is 20 years of old. Bailey Humphrey is 19 years of old. Jed Walter, 18. I mean, Will Graham, 18. Exciting talent. Left, right, and centre. They've got the coach. The players seem like they want to stay for the first time in history. I think top 8 to top 4 is where Gold Coast should be aiming for in 5 years' time. For the Giants, I'm a little less bullish than maybe some people might be. I put them top 8 to more likely mid-table. Now, they have the elite coach in Adam Kingsley. They've got the young talent, the mentality, but the problem with the Giants, and a little bit like Gold Coast and maybe Fremantle, is players do have a history of leaving the Giants. Will they stay? Will they go? Toby Bedford's 23, Xavier O'Halloran and Cotter Iden, Cullen Brown are all 23 alongside Pete Lynn. Tom Green's the big one at 22 alongside Lockie Ash at 22. Leeka Leah also 22, key position player. Finn Callahan. They do have exciting young talent. Aaron Cadman. Callahan and Cadman quite early in different drafts. They are impressive players, but I think the biggest problem with the Giants is maybe the likes of Kelly, Cornelio, Jesse Hogan, Sam Taylor. They will be maybe some of them in their prime still, but most well past it. And I just think there's still a chance for players to leave the Giants. They don't have the history there yet, and they're not like Gold Coast who have Dimmer, this amazing proven coach. Adam Kingsley is good, but is he good enough to keep some of those star talents there? Maybe not.